Hello everyone! On this first video we are going to create the illustration that we are going to animate later on. So this time I'm not going to start from a sketch, I'm going to just draw rectangle shapes using the rectangle tool, which I'm going to take right now. Okay, so we're simply going to start by placing a rectangle, more or less like this, and this will be the basis for the head of the character. So I'm going to zoom in, and by using the direct selection tool, this wide arrow, I'm going to click and drag to select the bottom portion of this rectangle. So I'll select these little circles, which are the live corners, and I'm going to click and drag to give this a round corner. And I'm going to do the same thing for the top part, except I'm going to give it a slightly less rounded edge. And so we have created the head. Now we're going to take the rectangle tool again and stand here. So it's very important to have our smart guides activated, so to check it, go to view and check that smart guides is ticked. So when I place this new shape over here, the smart guides are indicating that I'm in the middle of this other rectangle. So now I'm going to hold Alt and click and drag here. And so I'm going to create a rectangle that goes from the center outwards. So by doing this, you will get an illustration that's aligned from the get-go. So this is very convenient. Now I'm going to select the neck and go to Objects, Arrange, Send to Back, and now it's behind the head. Okay, so far so good. So we're going to create the torso now. We're going to do the same thing as we did before by starting from the center, holding Alt and clicking and dragging. So the shape should be about this size. Okay, so now I'm going to take these two anchor points. I'm going to hold Shift while clicking to add to the selection. And now that both are selected, I'm going to give them a rounded corner. And I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom part of this rectangle. So now I think I'm going to adjust the size of this shape. So I'm going to click and drag to select the bottom anchor point of this rectangle, and by using my arrow keys, my up key on the keyboard, and holding Shift to make the increments bigger, I'm modifying the size of this shape. Okay, great. So far so good. I'm going to take the rectangle tool again, and I'm going to draw the waist for this character, for this woman. So I think that for this rectangle I'm going to draw it a bit wider than the torso, so as to make it a bit more cartoony. Around here will do. Okay, so now I'm going to again take these anchor points, and by using the live corners I'm going to round them up about here. And I will leave the bottom anchor points straight because I want this shape to be a skirt. Now I'm going to take the bottom anchor point and drag it down by using my arrow keys. Okay, so now I will select this one and I'm going to drag it to the left a bit. And I'll do the same for the other one, except I'm going to move it to the right by using the arrow keys on my keyboard. Okay, so far so good. Again, I'm going to take the rectangle tool and I'm going to create a rectangle that's around this size. This will be a headband that she will be using because, as you know, this is a woman doing aerobics, so I want her outfit to be very 80s themed. So again, I'm going to take the rectangle tool and I will start here from the center of the torso, and I will click and drag, and around here will do. And now, while everything is selected, I'm going to take the 4 live corners at the same time, click and drag all the way. So this will be the chest of the woman. So right now I'm going to rearrange the shapes a little bit, because I think they need adjustment, so I'm using the arrow keys. And around here I'm going to create a new rectangle, which is going to be some sort of belt that she will be wearing. So it will be around here, right below the torso. And now I'm still rearranging my shapes and adjusting them as I go. Of course, I'm using my arrow keys on the keyboard. Okay, everything looks good at the moment. I am going to switch to the ellipse tool because I'm going to take care of the hair. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here, and while holding Shift on the keyboard to restrain the proportions, I'm going to draw a circle. So a cool trick to have in mind is that before you release this shape, you can press and hold the spacebar to modify the position, so you can adjust it before you even create it. Okay, so I'll release it about here, and I'm going to repeat the operation. I'm going to hold Shift and click and drag with the ellipse tool to create a circle. I'm going to release it over here. Of course, I want to make her hair fluffy or curly to give her an 80s vibe. So I'm creating circles to do that. So I'm adjusting the position of these circles by using the arrow keys on my keyboard. And I want to create another circle that overlaps this one a little bit. So I'm going to create it around here, approximately. So now we're going to bring our Pathfinder panel. We're going to go to Window, Pathfinder, and we're going to leave this window over here. So I'm going to hold Shift and select this shape and this one too. So now that both are selected, I'm going to press -front. So we have created this shape that looks like a strand of hair. And I'm going to adjust the position a little bit. Now I'm going to hold Shift and select these three shapes. And once they are all selected, I'm going to click on Unite. And once we have done this, I'm going to select this new shape we have created and go to Objects, Arrange, Send to Back. So now, as you can see, the hair is behind the headband. Okay, now it's time to create some facial features. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, so now that we are zoomed in, we're going to create a big oval by using the ellipse tool. So this time I won't be holding Shift to constrain the proportions. I'm just going to create a regular oval, just a big ellipse around here. So now we're going to switch to the white arrow, and now we're going to select only the bottom anchor point. And once we have done this, we're going to hit Delete on the keyboard. As you can see, we have this arch that will be her eye. So she has like smiley eyes. And now I'm going to duplicate this shape to the other side. So I'm going to hold Alt and Shift and click and drag. So once I release, a copy has been created. And there we go. We have both eyes now. So now we're going to create the mouth. I'm going to select the ellipse tool and I'm going to start here on the middle of the head. I'm going to hold Alt and click and drag to create a big ellipse, just like this. So again, I'm going to take the direct selection tool, and this time I'll select the top anchor point and delete it. So there we have it. We have this open shape, but right now I want to close this shape. So while having it selected, I'm going to the Pathfinder and I'm going to click on Unite. So now this shape is closed. As you can see, this is a big smile. And now I'm just adjusting the position by using the keyboard arrows. Next, I'm going to take the ellipse tool again, because I want to create a little oval under her eyes to create some kind of blush on her cheeks. So we're going to do that. And again, I'm going to take it, hold Alt and Shift, click and drag and duplicate it to the other side. So when I release this, a copy has been created. So at this moment, I'm going to group everything that's on pairs, like both eyes and these two little ellipses. So go to Object and Group, or you can hit Ctrl G. So by doing this, Adobe Illustrator will recognize every pair of shapes as one shape. And now we are going to select everything and align here on the Align panel. So I clicked on Horizontal Align Center. There we go. So have in mind that you may want to realign some things by hand, as I'm doing here. As you can see, I think it looks better if I move it a bit by hand. There we go. Now I'm going to take the rectangle tool to create the eyebrows. Okay, so to place this aligned, I'm going to start here on the center of her eye, hold Alt, click and drag and create this rectangle. There we go. So as you can see, I'm right now moving the position by using the keyboard arrows, as I usually do. I want these shapes to be overlapping the headband just a little bit, like this. And now I'm clicking and dragging while holding Alt and Shift to duplicate it to the other side until I reach the center of the other eye. So since I aligned these eyebrows to the center of each eye, now I don't need to realign anything because I know they are perfectly in place. Okay, I'm going to create the rest of the hair now because I want her hair to be long. So again, we'll take the ellipse tool and now we're going to zoom in a bit. And now I'm going to hold Shift to constrain the proportions and I'm going to create a big circle around here. So the same way as I did with the top portion of the hair, I'm going to draw it by using circles. So I'm going to duplicate this one by selecting it and clicking and dragging while holding Alt and Shift. And now I'll create a third circle on the middle. So I'm not worrying too much about making this part perfectly symmetrical or aligned. So once I have all these shapes, I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to go to the Pathfinder window and go to Unite. And now I'm going to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So far so good. So we're going to do the same again. We're going to create a big circle around here. So I'm creating a set of 3 circles here, same as I did before. And now I'm going to click on Unite. And now that I have these 2 big shapes, I'm going to select them both and also click on Unite. So as you can see, we have one big shape now. But there's a problem, we have a little hole here. But don't worry, we're going to get rid of it. So now we're going to take the white arrow, the direct selection tool, and now we're going to click on any of these anchor points here. And once that is selected, I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard twice. And there we go. So of course I'm going to take this shape and go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So now it's on the absolute back. So as you can see, this big shape is not perfectly symmetrical as the other ones, but don't worry, it doesn't have to be. The important thing is that you're happy with how it looks. So now I'll continue by creating the arms and the legs for this character. So we're going to take the line segment tool, and this is very important. We're going to create arms and legs as lines instead of just creating rectangles. You'll understand why in a couple of videos, but let me anticipate that this will allow us to be more flexible at the time of animating. So we're going to start around here, click and drag, and draw a vertical line. You can always hold Shift to constrain the movement to a vertical line. So I want her to be tall, I want her to have long legs. Okay, there we go. But currently this is just a line, this doesn't look like a leg. So we're going to go to the stroke panel and we're going to modify the stroke weight. We're going to give it around 30 or 40 points to make this line thick so it looks like an actual leg. So there we go. So feel free to experiment with different stroke weights and modify it if you don't like it. You don't have to follow this tutorial word by word, you can do it as you like it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this line and going to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So of course, we're going to take care of the color later on, so don't worry. Now I'm going to take it and hold Alt and Shift and click and drag to create a duplicate. So now that we have done that, we're going to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. Now we'll take care of the arms. So I'm going to take the line segment tool and I'm going to start over here. And I'm going to draw a line that's diagonal this time. And I'm going to do it over here. So naturally I don't want her arms to be as thick as her legs. That wouldn't look right. So I'm going to decrease it to around 25 points. Now while having the black arrow selected, I'm going to take this line, hold Alt and Shift, and click and drag to duplicate. So I need to flip this around, so I'm going to right click, transform, reflect. Be sure that preview is activated and the axis is set as vertical. Now click OK, and there we have it. We have this line that's flipped to the other side. Now I'm adjusting the position of this arm a bit by using the arrow keys on the keyboard, and naturally I'm going to go to Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So as you can see, this has moved the arm behind the hair. I don't want that, so I'm going to Object, Arrange, Bring Forward, and I'm going to do this a couple of times until this is right. And now I'm fine-tuning the position again. Okay, so our first step is almost ready by now, but I think I'm going to fine-tune a couple of things that I find that they're not quite right. I'm not quite happy with them. So for example, I find that her neck is too wide, so I'm going to make it a bit slimmer by clicking on this shape, holding Alt, and moving these points of this bounding box. So as you can see, I'm playing with the proportions to get this character just right. At this point, I think that her head is a bit out of proportion. I want to make it smaller. So I'm selecting everything and I'm going to resize it a bit by using the black arrow on dragging the bounding box while holding Shift to constrain the proportions. So I'm going to create a few extra details. For example, I'm going to select the rectangle tool now. I'm going to hold Alt, and around here I'm going to start from the center and click and drag to create a rectangle that's more or less wider than the neck. Now I'll select the bottom anchor points and I'm going to round them up by using the light corners around here. And I'll modify the position a bit using the arrow keys. So now I'm going to take the shape of the torso and I'm going to hit Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl F as in forward to create a copy that's exactly in front of the original. This is called paste in front. So now that we have this shape selected, I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to click on this other one too. And on the Pathfinder, I'm going to click on Intersect. Okay, we are done with the step 1. On the next video, we are going to color this illustration. See you there.